Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have for you a very beautiful autumn wreath. This one just exudes a feeling of autumn with rusty, earthy color tones on a grapevine wreath with exquisite ribbons with a gorgeous gold leaf pattern. I hope this tutorial will inspire you to make an autumn wreath for your door or for the door of a friend or relative. Welcome to all to my channel today. My name is Joann and I post seasonal, holiday, and home decor on my channel weekly. If you're not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. And as well, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this tutorial. Okay, let me show you how I created this beautiful grapevine autumn wreath. Let's look at the materials that you would need to create this wreath. I have here a grapevine wreath. It's in an oval shape, and this grapevine wreath is very narrow twigs in the wreath. It's not one of the heavier grapevine wreaths. It's one of the lighter weight grapevine wreaths, the one with the more narrow or thinner twigs that make up the wreath. I have here the most exquisite, beautiful autumn ribbon that I got at Joann Fabrics. I actually got this at 50% off. It's absolutely gorgeous. 2.5-inch wired ribbon. I'm going to pair it up with this ribbon, which is also just absolutely gorgeous from Joann Fabrics. This ribbon is just extremely unique, and that the leaves on the ribbon are they're actually, I'm not even sure how they made this ribbon. It's so unique and so beautiful. But it feels like the leaves were like, I want to say like pressed on. They have a real soft feel to the leaves. I don't know. I'm just so impressed with this ribbon. I had to get it, and I had to make a wreath with it. It was so beautiful. I have there a twig, grapevine. I call them grapevine pumpkins. You call them whatever you like. I got it at Hobby Lobby. And I have there some other embellishments, two of which are beautiful rusty colored sunflowers. It's going to go just beautifully with that gorgeous ribbon. I have there some acorns from the Dollar Tree, and I have some berries and some autumn leaves as well in earthy color tones. So my grapevine wreath, as I mentioned, is more of an oval shape, and I like that. It's something a little bit different, and I'm going to be making this beautiful bow, which is really going to be such a focal point of this wreath, and I'm going to be placing it between 4 and 6 o'clock on that wreath. So this is going to be one very gorgeous, very impressive bow with this fabulous ribbon. Now I'm going to use this ribbon with the cream-colored background with the gold and rusty colored leaves for my base. And I'm going to be using my little measuring tool. This is my little wood block that I created on one of my tutorials. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. It has a tape measure glued to the bottom, and it serves as a great measuring tool for me. So my tails are going to be 12 inches, and my loops are going to be measuring 10 inches. So I am going to just scrunch my loop right in the center after folding it over, and I'm going to keep that in between my thumb and my index finger. I fold over my loops, scrunch them in the center, twist my ribbon so the right side is always facing up, fold it over again at 10 inches. I press my thumb down, scrunch it up in the center with my other hand, twist my ribbon, fold it over, press it down in the center, the same 10 inches, and I scrunch it up using both of my hands. I hold it with my left, scrunch it with my right. Twist my ribbon, fold over 10 inches, scrunch it in the center, keeping everything collected and firmly held with my thumb and my index finger right in the center. Now I'm going to be creating a 6-loop bow, or 3 loops on each side. And by each side, I'm referring to each side of my hand. I'm going to cut off my ribbon from the spool, leaving a 12-inch tail. So this is going to be the base of my beautiful bow. Again, 10-inch loops, 3 loops on each side. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, put it right down the center, keeping everything very well collected. Bring it around the back, twist it, give it a couple of good twists. I want that all held together very, very snug. So I'm going to be creating this mixed ribbon bow, and that rusty ribbon with the gold leaves is going to go on top of this base bow. And this is going to be very stunning on that wreath. Look at that ribbon. I just think it's one of the most beautiful ribbons I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot, considering I've been making bows for, 30 years. So I'm very impressed, as you can tell. Okay, so the same 12 inches for the tail. But for my loops, I want those loops to be a little bit smaller. And so I'm going to go with like around 9 inches on my loops, the length of my loops. Fold it over, scrunch it in the center. Now, that's the way that I can tell that my loops are symmetrical. I don't really measure. I'm just going through the motions to show you how you can measure, but I do everything by eyeballing it. And then I take my loops and I just match them up against one another just to make sure I'm on track with the size. Now I'm going to create a 4-loop bow, or 2 loops on each side. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and put it right down the center. I'm going to use a full-size one for this because I'm going to be creating a loop that goes right down the center of that bow. So I'm going to twist it in the back, and then I'm going to twist my ribbon so I have the right side up. Now I'm just going to be simply folding it under and catching it with my thumb underneath. I just roll it under, create a loop, hold it with my thumb, take my pipe cleaner from around the back that I secured all those loops with, pop it through that center loop, bring it around the back, and twist. I do have bow tutorials, multiple bow tutorials, if you'd like a very slow, methodical instruction on how to make bows like I do. I did take this one a little bit slower than some of my tutorials, just so that you could see how to make this absolutely incredible bow. Oh, it is just so pretty and when it's finished. Okay, so I took my tail, my ribbon tail on the top, popped it through my center loop to marry it up with my tails on the bottom. Now this ribbon is extremely compliant. It just holds its shape. Of course, it's wired edged. And now what I'm going to do is open up all the loops of my base bow to receive that bow that's going to go on top of there. So I place my hand down the center of the bow, separating the tails. I press the top bow to the bottom bow very tightly, and I align those two bows up very precisely. right down the center. I'm showing you there. Then I'm going to take the pipe cleaners that were on the back of the top bow, wrap them around the base bow in the back, twist, and now my bows are united and gorgeous. I'm just shaping my loops a little bit there. Of course, I'll do more of that once I get it on the wreath. But I want to say this is just a most beautiful bow, and I hope that if you are interested in making this wreath, that you are able to find these ribbons at Joann Fabrics. They actually have amazing ribbons. I always go there to see what the latest ribbons they have, because they really have excellent quality ribbon. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I'm going to be placing my bow on that wreath from like 4 to 6 o'clock. So I'm moving it down there a little bit. But I want that bow to sit there and inhabit that area between 4 and 6 o'clock. Then I'm going to place my sunflowers on the left side of the bow. So I took a full-size pipe cleaner because I really utilized most of the pipe cleaner while creating the bows. I'm going to bring it around, twist it in the back, and now I'm going to take the tails of that, of those pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to wrap it around that grapevine wreath around 5 o'clock. And don't worry about the fact that this bow is really seemingly oversized for the wreath, but it's really not once you get the elements on there. Now, you can wrap the bow, the pipe cleaner tails around the wreath, or you can poke them through. Now, if you have a grapevine wreath with the larger twigs, there's a little more space to poke those pipe cleaners through. This one isn't quite like that, so I just wrapped mine around. But again, as I mentioned, don't worry that it seems large, because once you get those big sunflowers on there, it's going to be very balanced out. Okay, next comes those beautiful sunflowers. Now, I cut off the sunflower from the stem, and I left about 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to place 2 of those large, beautiful, rusty-colored sunflowers on that wreath. I place one like around 6 to 7 o'clock, facing a little bit downward. The other one I placed around 8 o'clock, and I faced that one going upward a little bit. Now I'm going to leave the rest of my grapevine wreath right there. I'm going to leave that showing because I like that. I like the rustic look of that. And I think a grapevine wreath is beautiful for fall wreaths. So I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to prop that up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Now, as you can see, we have a lot going on that wreath already. I don't need much more. I think that the bow is an incredibly beautiful statement, and those sunflowers are as well. Now, I have what I call that little grapevine pumpkin because it's the same type of twigs that are used for a grapevine wreath. And I'm just going to pop that right over those sunflowers. It comes with a stem, so I'm going to take my wire cutters and cut that off. And as I did the sunflowers, I just poked those sunflowers right into the grapevine wreath. That's what I love about grapevine wreaths. They serve as a great base to pop in your florals. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to face my pumpkin facing upward, just kind of cradled in that grapevine wreath. Now, I did add a bit of hot glue right at the base of the stem where it's inserted into the grapevine wreath, just to make sure that it stays in place. Now, I have these really pretty maple leaves. They're in like earthy tones. And I'm going to use a few of those just to bring in a little bit more color element and just to embellish that wreath a little bit more. I believe I used about 5 leaves. So you can see I'm just placing them around. And quite simply, I'm just going to put a little hot glue on the base of the leaf. And I'm just going to glue those right to where I want them to go. Now, right now, I'm just doing a dry run, placing them here and there. But you can see that I placed them on the right and on the left, and then a couple around the wreath. Now, I also have those little rusty flowers. They look like little baby sunflowers. Actually, that's what they look like to me. I'm not sure what the name of them is, unless it's actually a baby sunflower. I'm not really sure. I just know they're pretty, and that's what I care about. Okay, so I'm going to place 3 of those around the wreath. Now, I do have some berries there. You could use those or not use those, but I just felt like I didn't need to use those. I felt like I had enough on the wreath. And I am, however, going to take a few of those little acorns. They have a rusty color to the body of the acorn, and I just love those. I got those at the Dollar Tree, and I've used them on a number of projects because I absolutely love them. So I'm going to go around and glue everything that I did my dry run on. Now, for some weird, unknown reason, this started recording in like this slow motion. I never touched my camera. I have no idea. This happened to me one other time in another video. But we're almost done with the wreath, so not a big deal. I'm just going to keep on talking here while we're in slow motion. So I'm going to go around the wreath, and any leaves that I want to secure onto there. The flowers I poked down into the grapevine wreath. I used a little hot glue to secure those as well. I used hot glue to secure, I think I used about 5 acorns. And then I am going to trim my tails. Now, as I normally do with my bows, I like to have my base bow have the longest tail, and then I layer over that the bow on top of the base bow. I love the look of layered tails hanging down from a wreath. So that's what I'm going to do. I angle my tails, and I love the look of that. So I'm going to cut my my rusty colored ribbon with the gold leaves, the tails at the length that I want them. Now I am going to leave these tails long, just cascading down from this wreath. It would be a shame to cut them off. That's all I've got to say. They're just too beautiful. Okay, so even though we're in slow motion here, I am going to now cut off the base tails, and notice that I leave them longer. And again, I'm going to angle those to match the tails that I cut off on the top bow. And we're almost done with our slow motion here, but I did want to show you this part, because to me, how you finish your tails is very important. And there we go. All right, so what you want to be sure on your wreath is that you have balance and symmetry. That large bow on the side, and then I have the 2 sunflowers balancing out my wreath. There you can see the layering effect of those tails. So beautiful. And then I just have my smaller elements placed around the wreath. And that's it. This was a quick and easy wreath, but just absolutely exquisite. I love it. And I hope you do as well. And here we have one final look at this beautiful autumn wreath. If you like what you see on my channel and you're not currently a subscriber, I hope you will become one as I try and strive to grow my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this wreath, and as well leave me your comments. I love receiving them, always. And I hope you feel inspired to make one for yourself or for a friend or relative. And until next time, you all take care.